Welcome into the Toyota Winners Lounge, powered by your Front Range Toyota dealerships. The Avs back in the winner's circle here. This is the DNVR Avalanche post-game show presented by Bet365. We got Big E, we got Rudo coming to you live, celebrating an Avalanche win. It ended up being a fun game. Didn't really start out that way, but it ended up being an exciting one. Dare I say a barn burner by the end of it, but a game where you saw a couple different versions of the Colorado Avalanche, to say the least.
Yeah, and again, you're talking about, forget about the plane ride today and all that stuff. At the end of the day, Carolina Hurricanes are a great team, right? So you knew that the Avs weren't going to control play the whole game. Obviously, first 10 minutes was complete domination by Carolina. Yes. And sometimes you don't have your game, right, for 60 minutes. So you have to get it back. The good thing is it was 1-0. I thought Georgiev was good in those 10 minutes. So at the end of the day, it was 1-0, and it could have been worse. And you're talking about a different game. So I think they got their legs, they found their way, and they were able to get going and, pull out a very nice victory tonight. And I thought that they played very solid. The superstars were great. We'll get into it. And home crowd at Ball Arena looked to be very ecstatic. And what a fun second period that was.
Yeah, it was a blast. You don't see 5-goal periods all that often.
Yeah.
Look, Carolina had 14 shots on goal in the first period. They had 17 the rest of the game.
Yeah.
First period kind of put in its own box for Colorado. And yeah, first period was not good. They did not play a good hockey game for the first 20 minutes.
And we talked before the game. We're like, hey, they flew today. Let's pounce on them the first 10 minutes. It was the opposite. We talked about it. I mean, it was on Twitter. Carolina was trying to reinvent the new way of flying game day. I think they changed their mind after that. But yeah, I mean, I really, really would have bet the opposite. I would have said 10-0 shots Avs the first 10 minutes. It was the opposite.
Was not the case. And yeah, I think the Avs probably need to say, hey, we can't keep doing this, especially against good teams.
Yeah.
They get away with putting themselves in a hole tonight, and we'll get to a lot of credit that a lot of people deserve for that coming back.
Yeah.
But you cannot be okay with putting yourself behind early in games against the best teams in the NHL, and Carolina is one of those, which I wanted to bring up because the Avs are still a pretty darn depleted team. I don't know if I'd call it a statement win, but it's a big win.
It's a big win. I think the statement is what Nate MacKinnon said to Rachel on the ice after the game, right? You played the top two teams in the league.
You went 500.
And you could easily win 2-0, right? Yep. I mean, it was a great game in Winnipeg besides the scoreboard. And tonight, again, I think besides the first 10 minutes, they were the better team after that. They showed.
I'd say the first 20.
Oh, whatever. Okay, make it 20. So for the majority of the game, maybe that's a better way to say it. They were the better team, and they won the game. So I think all in all, that was a big test for the last 20, 48, 72 hours. You know what I mean? Where you had two big opponents. And I think they answered the bell. And I think I go back to what I said pregame. Jared Bednar wants to see this group, not the group with Drew and Natushka. You can't worry about that. They're not there. They want to see this group win some games. And I think tonight it's exactly what he was talking about.
I get what he's saying. Yeah. I also think there are some realities about this lineup. And the Avs won anyway tonight.
Yeah.
I want to ask you a question. Don't look it up.
I'm not.
Avs scored 6 goals tonight. They had a total of, let me add it up here, 4, 7, 10, 13, 15 points.
Yeah.
15 points on 6 goals. How many of them do you think came from a player that wasn't your top line or your top pairing?
0.
Wrong.
Okay, that was quick there.
2.
Okay.
Both from defensemen.
Oh, true. Sam.
Ludwig also had a secondary.
That's right. Yeah, you're right. No, but I mean, I was thinking up front. You know, in my head, I was like,
I know. And you're correct. Your bottom 9 forwards scored 0 points tonight.
That's what I was answering to. But, we all know the defense is part of the offense for the Avalanche. It's always been part of their makeup. It's always been part of their championship win. Tonight's no different, right?
Technically, that's not true. Middlestat had a point, but it was on the power play, so it was the top unit.
Yeah,
so.
True. I mean, you're right. Power play.
My bad. But anyway, the point I'm trying to make is for the Avs to beat the best teams in the league right now, it has to be the Stars. We talked about it in our chat on the watch along a lot. It has to be them. And it's unfair to them. It's hard to blame them for the Avs being below 500 this year because Nathan MacKinnon is literally the top scorer in the NHL. Cale Makar is 3rd in scoring as a defenseman. They're doing their part. But it has to be not just their part. They have to do it all for the Colorado Avalanche to win hockey games right now. And guess what? They showed up and they did it all in this game.
And again, I say that all the time. You got the luxury of playing those 3 guys in the lineup every night. We get the luxury to see those 3 guys in the lineup every night. Listen, they're 3 of the top 10 players in the league. I know Mikko can be so frustrating at times, but you saw tonight why he is one of the best wingers in the National Hockey League. And again, when you have that, you can beat anyone. And
I agree.
It just is. And your tweet was what? The Stars are just so too good, or whatever it is. I don't remember what you tweeted.
I forget. I don't know. Yeah.
It was something like that. But
I tweeted I like goals.
Yeah.
Does that count?
But that's what's fun, and that's why those guys. I mean, you're never out of a fight. Even last year, how many times you're down by 2-3 goals, and it's like you're never out of a fight with guys like that. They're so dangerous. Tonight they're down by 2, and then that's the first goal, right? The shorty by Cale.
Yeah. And I want to get into
No, I know. I wasn't going to touch on because I know you want to talk about it. What I'm saying is you're never out of it because they can turn games on a dime, and that's what they do every night. For the most part, that's how you lead the league in scoring. That's how you're the first defenseman in scoring, 3rd overall. Mikko's going to end up at 100 points again. I mean, that's just what he does. And, it's fun. It's fun. But, you're right. Seattle, you're getting that depth scoring, you know what I mean? But when you're talking about top teams that are rolling, Carolina coming in here with 8 wins in a row, guys are slotted in a tough area, and that's what you and I talk about all the time. You're not getting that production, but you're not expecting it almost, but without being so condescending to, you're just not expecting it because you feel it. It's your top guys are going to make you win, and they did.
I see Cody in the Toyota chat talking about how you need goal scoring from everyone. And if you had a healthy Avs lineup, I agree.
Sure.
Your Stars scoring 4 points a night is not a sustainable path to success. It isn't. But the Avs lineup runs out of NHL caliber forwards at forward number 7. Their bottom 6 is a bunch of AHL dudes. It just is.
And I'm going to use Logan for a second. We all love Logan, right?
Yep.
He's struggling a little bit. Again, had hip surgery and all that kind of stuff. But with all fairness, he's playing out of slot almost every night.
Do you think he'd be struggling near as much if he was playing on the 4th line? No.
That's my point. You know what I mean? And it's like, and I want people to realize that, it is hard to play against a line that's tougher than you. When I say tougher, not punching tougher, on puck possession. We all know, Carolina's the best possession team in the league. So you're chasing the game. You know what I mean? And when you're chasing the game against players that are above you in any lineup because you're playing out of slots, out of position, it's a long night. It's a tough night. So, I think you said it. We weren't expecting much production tonight. If you're going to beat them, it will have to be their top guys. It certainly was the top guys.
Yep. It was great. The first of those I do want to talk about is Cale Makar. I know we already talked about Mikko a little bit, but I do want to get into Cale. We did have Gismo talk to him in the locker room after this win. So let's hear from that first. Oh, sick. Go, Rock.
A little slow in the first period. What was said after the first for you to come out and just explosive in the second?
I think we just saw kind of what we could expose overall. I mean, it's kind of been our MO lately, a little bit of slow start. We got to focus on that and fix it. But at the same time, we were able to regroup in the second period and learn from some of the stuff that we did in the first.
What do shorthanded goals do for the team?
I mean, they're fun. I mean, they're obviously down a man on the ice, so they're fun.
On that read there, was that something that you knew that they liked to try to get that pass across, or did you just see that play developing?
It was more so we had good coverage up top, and their guy was pretty high. So I saw once they threw it over there, it looked like he was going to try and one touch it weak side. So I just jumped it, and unfortunately, I don't know who their top guy was, but I think he might have fell and then gave me a little break there. So.
Well, I asked Nate the same thing, but all the wins are important. But does a win like this, given where you guys are at the season, kind of maybe have a little bit more of an impact on the group and on the unit?
Yeah, maybe. I think, like we touched on, I think the second period was solid for us. I think if there's any doubt in anybody's brain, we can just watch that period, and you're going against one of the best, if not the best team right now in the NHL. So it's a fun one, but for us, I think we stuck with it tonight, and that's what gave us the win.
Last to you guys.
Good.
Thanks so much, Cale. Thank you.
6.
So, Cale, I mean, always a great interview. He has the hat there. And I think it's interesting because I don't think he was the Avs' best player in this game. But Eric and I were talking, he probably had the most important play of this game for the Avalanche. He gets that goal with the shorthanded goal, I should say, about halfway through the game. And look, I'll leave the locker room stuff to Eric. Eric's been in NHL locker rooms his whole life, basically. I have not. But that's what the best players in the world do. You're down 2-0 in a game. You need a spark. And yeah, you know what? Spencer Martin probably should have made that save. But Cale Makar walks in. He puts a little bit extra on that slapper. It goes in. And you can see it on his face. After he scores, he turns. He looks up to the ice to his team. He gives him the fist bump. And there's been a few players in my lifetime who get that look. Peter Forsberg and Cale Makar. You look into their eyes and you just go, oh, that dude's just not losing tonight. It's not happening.
He grabs the puck, he turns on the Jets, right?
Yep.
And then it's like he can see on the left corner of his eye that the guy's closing on him. So he's like, maybe it's time for the clap bomb. And then, I mean, maybe you're saying Spencer, I don't know, but that's a bullet. And I'll tell you one thing. You're right, because if you see right after what he does the old Ray Borg pumpernickel.
Cale,
And he's
normally
like, I know,
a very small celly guy. He's not a...
Yeah. The Ray Borg pumpernickel, and he's pumped, man. And he was like, that's emotions right there. As a teammate, you know that he's not usually like that, and you're on the bench, and you're like, okay, maybe we are winning this game, right?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it was 2-1 at the time, right?
Yep.
They're still down, but it's like, okay, Cale's going, Cale's pumped, and you're right. Player of the game probably should have been MacKinnon, had the hat from last game, right? So he probably could have given it back to himself. I mean, why not? He is the dog. Arr, arr. But, decides to give it to his boy. Cale, that was probably the best player for the Avalanche in Winnipeg. You know what I mean?
True.
On
That's
a losing
fair point.
cause.
That's a fair point.
So all of a sudden it's like, all right, I'll give him that ugly, stupid, whatever you want to call that hat. That's awesome. I love it, by the way. I say stupid with
I love that you called it ugly, stupid,
but
awesome.
But that's why it's so awesome. I mean, it's got to be dumb, or you know what I mean? Like, you're wearing a nice Prada hat or whatever it is. It's like, what? No, it's got to be dumb, and and I like it. And when you wear it, you look like a complete tool, and it's great. And that's the whole thing. But yeah, it was great to see him wear that hat. I think Rudo's completely bang on. Not the player of the game, even though he was fantastic. But the play of the game was that shorthanded goal, and it turned the game on a dime, absolutely. When down by 2, you give up a shorty. Carolina's like, talk about a no-no, that's a no-no.
And when you look at the entirety of what this season has been so far, again, don't get me wrong, Nathan MacKinnon's been all-world unbelievable. Mikko Rantanen, certainly as of late, has found it a whole lot more. But across the course of the season, I think Cale Makar is the guy more than anyone. He looks to his left, he looks to his right. He says, okay, it's got to be me. It's got to be me. And he puts the team on his back and does whatever he has to do.
I got away from the all-hail kill, and I went with the...
Well, you made a good choice. 16-bit Mac.
16-bit, whatever that is. Mac. And I was the right one. That's the right one. He's got 4 points. He just texted me, said, thank you for wearing my shirt, so it's nice. I'm kidding. But it was, it was again, stars were stars, and it's so fun to watch.
Well, I do want to talk about the other stars, too, a little bit. But first, what time is it, E?
Game time.
It is game time, baby. The Avs are on a 4-game homestand. You can go get your tickets right now through Game Time. And who knows what you might see. Maybe you'll see Nathan MacKinnon pop off for a 4-point night. Maybe you'll see Cale Makar score some great goals. Maybe you're coming with the takeover for us on the 15th. That's a great way, too. But Game Time will get you the best tickets with their Game Time Picks offer. They filter out all the junk. They only show you the best tickets for the best prices, so you get the best experience at the games. Go get it with Game Time today. Sign up with a DNVR code to get $20 off your first purchase with them, and use the Game Time Picks not just for sports, but for concerts, movies, theaters, and of course sports. You name it. Game Time has you covered. What time is it? It's game time, baby.
Game time.
And once you've got your Game Time tickets covered, make sure you're also getting your ticket to health with UC Health. Go win, especially, look, we all got to talk about it, all right? Look, sometimes we're stubborn, men, all right? We just are. I am all the time. But you still got to go in and make sure you're doing well. You got to make sure you're getting your checkups and making sure you're okay, even if you feel okay. Look, I've talked about it a bunch. My mom has had cancer twice. You know why she's still alive? Because she went to the doctor and got her cancer screened and caught. You got to go to the doctor and make sure you're telling your doctor what's up. Then make sure they're checking you out and that you're all good. So go to UC Health's dedicated men's health page to see more of these conversations, as well as content and resources for men to take charge of their health at uchealth.org/men's health today. Second period of the DNVR Avalanche podcast. I did want to talk about Nathan MacKinnon because obviously he had a 4-point night. Absolutely unbelievable. But there's a couple of other things that I wanted to weave into this conversation. First of all, he sets up the game-tying goal to make it 2-2. A great little play, a simple play. Didn't do the over-fancy thing. He throws a puck 5-hole. Maybe he gets lucky it slips. It doesn't, but creates a rebound for Sam Walensky to come in and finish. Again, at times the Avs absolutely have been too cute this year. They weren't there, and it paid off. But then the bigger part of Nathan MacKinnon is, you know what? The Avs go make a mistake after tying this game. Sam Walensky gets caught. He has to take a penalty to take a guy down. Otherwise, it's maybe a break towards the open net. The Avs give up that goal on the penalty kill. It's a bad play. You feel like momentum all of a sudden just hard stop on that for Colorado. And Nathan MacKinnon says, you know what? I'm just going to go score a goal. I'm going to get that goal right back for us, and we're going to pretend this never happened, and we're going to go win this hockey game.
Wasn't going to get denied.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? And, when you say guys are so strong on their stick, you know what I mean? Like, oh boy, was he strong on his... Jesus, Connor's losing his gut. I mean, anyway, so strong on his stick, right? You know, and kind of like that last game, right? Not Winnipeg, the one before. Remember at the blue line? He does do the... Well, but it was hard.
It was more of a slick move.
No, I know, but he's so strong on the puck.
Yeah.
This one, he was more like carrying it through the neutral zone. He's like, I don't care who's going to put a stick in the way.
I'm going through it.
And, I'm going through the storm, like the last 2 days here in Denver. And he's like, I'm going to get through it. And then the ghost, Gostisbehere, becomes a ghost.
He is rough. It was rough defense from Gostisbehere.
I'm not sure where he's gone.
Not going to lie. It was bad.
He's got the leading scorer in the league come in, and he's like, I'm going to give him the nicer flight path to the net. And hey, listen, I've been there. I'm not making fun of the ghost, but wow. And then he just puts his stick left and pivots left and says, go ahead, big dog. I'm scared of dogs. I don't want to get bit. But go ahead, son.
Somebody got bit.
And then all of a sudden it just bit him.
Yeah,
big
exactly.
time. And you can tell the puck ends up right on the stick right afterwards, and he just bats it out of the... And he's like, God, that was so dumb. But yeah, that was a great play. You're right. I guess that was like, all right, Cale, you know what? You want to like one-up me there? Like, I'm going to give it back to you right here. And that's what superstar players do.
It is.
And superstar plays.
That's what it... There's not a whole lot... And I love those goals in my breakdowns after games because I go, there's nothing to tell you X's and O's wise here. Nathan MacKinnon's just better than everybody, man. Like, what?
I don't know what to tell you. The stride is just stronger, and it just opens things up. Like I said to you, I would have done that. Gostisbehere would have said, ha, ha, I'm going at him, and then I would have lost the puck. But then because it's MacKinnon,
Yep.
it's like, let me just open the dam for you, buddy, and go ahead. Because you're so like confused and scared of his speed. So yeah, that's what superstars do, man. Superstar plays.
As good as MacKinnon was, and he was really, really good. 4-point night,
Yep.
3 assists, 1 goal, leads the NHL in points. Not our player of the game tonight. Our player of the game tonight for the UC Health Live Extraordinary Player of the Game is going to Max Lacroix.
Nice.
Had the best save percentage of any game I watched tonight.
Yes, you can only save the shots that are thrown at you.
Better than Georgiev and Spencer Martin. Only gives up 2 goals. He gets his first ever NCAA win. Congratulations to your kitty.
Nice.
Super
We'll take
cool
a picture
moment.
of that. I'll send it to him.
There you go. Get a picture of the player
Thank
of the game.
you, guys.
right
That
there.
means a lot. It was fun. I mean, I lost 16 pounds.
He
during
did.
the
He was
game.
sweating that game. Oh man.
Buddy, that is tough. Trust me. But thank you. That means a lot. And yeah, that was awesome.
It's a great time.
It's awesome. It
Avs
was
won,
fun.
Buffs won, BU won. What's
Our
not to love?
Terriers
Yeah.
won. Our Avs won. Our Buffs won. That's a great night. What about our Pioneers? I don't even know. I didn't look.
Who?
Pios.
Oh, did they even play tonight? I don't know.
Yeah, I think it was the weekend, right? It was,
Word goes, who?
Lindenwood, I don't know.
I don't. I
I'll
assume
tell you
not.
right now.
They probably won. They're the best team in the country. So
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
that's just the
They
rankings,
are.
buddy.
They are. I know. They're playing well.
But while you're looking that up, look, I don't want to sleep on Mikko Rantanen these last couple of
That's
games.
right.
He's been a lot more of the guy that the Avs need him to be. And you know what the Avs need him to be the most? A shooter.
And when he shoots that shot, top glove.
Nobody in the planet is stopping the shot he scores
Nope.
on. It's a A1 perfect shot. You can't stop that guy when you give him that and when he takes it. And it's maybe my favorite part about it is it's fun. Watching Mikko Rantanen be one of the top 10 most skilled players on the planet is super fun to watch. I want it every single night. We were getting it lately. I know we criticize the guy a lot, so I got to be fair to the guy. When it's like that, it's awesome. I love it.
Oh, but we shoot, like you're right. You're shooting the puck. When you're shooting the puck, that's how it works, buddy. And Mikko, when he's a shooter, he is, I don't know how to explain it, but you can tell when he's confident about his shot.
Yeah.
The last few games, he's been confident. He knows how to pick it. He knows where to go. And you know where it's going. And the goalie knows where it's going. And you can't stop it. Right? It's short side, high glove. And boy, oh boy, that is a very well-placed shot tonight.
Yep.
That is a typical vintage Mikko Rantanen shot. And that's why he is an outstanding hockey player. Like you said, he leave you wanting more a little bit at times. It is what it is. I still say it. I think he's a victim of his size and everything. It just looks worse when you're that big. You know what I mean? But boy, oh boy, tonight he responded. He sure followed Mac and Cale, you know, to the promised land, which was a victory. And they needed those 3 guys to produce.
You did.
To be on top of their game, and all 3 were awesome.
I want to talk a little bit more about the confidence factor, but before we do, I do want to get to Jared Bednar's post-game presser. So let's hear what Coach had to say about winning a big game.
Go ahead, guys. Jared, it felt like Cale's goal just snapped you guys out of it.
Yeah, for sure. It helped. You know, that's a huge goal, especially because it was, you know, we were killing the penalty, and I didn't love our penalty kill tonight. Like, we got caught in between a lot. They scored, you know, they had some good looks, and then they scored on the rush attack. We were getting beat to the back door of the net in the first period. Not just penalty kill, but 5-on-5 as well. They like to attack the net hard. But that one kind of jump-started a really good second period for us. Yeah, I thought our second period was outstanding. We're relentless with our pursuit of the puck, creating turnovers, creating scoring chances. And it was a pretty even third, but got to give Gorgie credit for first period. I mean, he keeps us in the game at down one, and we made a handful of mistakes after that, but our game started to come around, and a lot like the Winnipeg game for us, except tonight we were able to capitalize on our chances.
Those are all important, but early in the season and a win like this that's so dominant, what does that do for the room and the guys at this point of the year?
Well, it should help the confidence, not just this one, but like the last three we played. Like we really liked our Seattle game, we really liked the Winnipeg game, liked their game tonight. I think like there's windows in the game that we're not happy with. Keep working at trying to correct that and get a full 60 in, but the intensity of our game and just the overall engagement physically, emotionally, I think has gone up over the last little bit. And, you know, we're starting to find a little bit of a recipe for exactly what it's going to take for us to win with our current lineup. And guys are playing hard. It's part of the reason why we're not practicing that much, because as again tonight, I haven't seen the minutes, but I'm sure there's some guys that played a lot.
Coach, did it feel like that was a game where you guys were doing a lot of good things and in the second period you started getting rewarded? What did you see as the difference between the last 40 minutes versus
No, we were not doing a bunch of good things in the first period. And lots of it stemmed from up ice again, like the forecheck part of it. Like our F3 got cut. Like they're a team that likes to go in and out of the zone as quickly as they can. So you lay them behind it. You have to go force their D to get them to move it quickly. Otherwise, they'll just hang on to it and come out with control. So we did that, but we had some, our F3 wasn't in the right spot in the first period, so he was caught deep, and then our D started pinching on plays where they shouldn't have pinched on, and they put numbers into the rush, and it gave us trouble. And so they were coming at us with speed the whole first period, and then we took penalties, which made it worse. So we cured that in the second period, simple F3 positioning, managing his depth, and D made better reads on it. And, you know, like we were on our toes in the second period. Like we were creating turnovers and playing on their half, and we started turning the puck back on them like they were on us in the first period. So there's definitely a shift there, and sometimes it's just one or two things that you can do well to slow them down. And but I also think the competitive spirit showed up a lot better in the second period than it did in the first.
Georgiev's save percentage obviously isn't going to look as shiny as it did against Winnipeg, but you mentioned his start. Just given the way that games have gone this season and the early goals you guys have put up, how big was that first save? You had to make that side-to-side play.
It's huge.
Play.
Well, not just that one. There was a bunch in the first period. You know, I'll look at them, see if we got some missed the net and we got some sticks on some. Maybe some weren't as dangerous as what I thought they were. But they were playing to the net hard in the first period, and we didn't do a very good job of picking guys up. And they caught the one in the power play in the second. I think it was an errant pass that hit his skate, so it kind of surprised a few of our guys, and they went backdoor on it again. But he got over for a couple side-to-side saves tonight that were huge, and you know, I felt like that game could have got away from us in the first 10 minutes, and it didn't, and that was because of Gorgie. And then, you know, it just gave our team a chance to come around, and that's what we need from our goaltending.
Cale Makar's goal, again, helped jumpstart a lot. Was there a message that you feel kind of got the guys going before you guys hit the ice for the second?
Nope. I just think it's, I mean, we go in after every period, but there's no, I mean, I basically told them what I just told you, what my thoughts were in the first period, and they corrected it. But we felt like we could, you know, get on our toes a little bit more. You know, we were letting them come at us in the first period, and we had to sort of change that and get a little stiffer in our game and a little bit more grit to our game, I think, in checking the puck back and forcing them into some tough spots, and they did that.
You have that goal from Cale, and then Nate's goal isn't so bad either. How nice is it to have those two guys?
Well, I thought Nate, that whole line, the second period when we caught a little momentum, I kept rolling them out there. If we had any sustained ozone time, they were going back out. I just told them to manage their shift length, and we were just trying to ride that momentum. And I thought the most impressive goal tonight was the one Nate fought off the guy in the neutral zone. Like that guy was strong on his stick, and so was Nate, and it was sort of paused for a second. The puck trickled out on the offensive side of it, and then he, like, to be able to not lose too much momentum or explode out of that one-on-one, and then to look off the D a little bit, and it was a great shot, obviously, but that was an impressive goal, and you could just see that those guys were feeling it. So as a coach, it's without trying to kill those guys, you have to be able to recognize a little bit, like when you catch a little momentum and you can keep putting them out there and they're feeling it and they want to go, because they can make a big difference in a short amount of time.
Backhand as a whole had their hands in the offense that was created tonight, and that's been a formula of success for this team.
Yeah.
How has that maybe evolved throughout the course of this year?
Yeah, well, we're still working on getting there. Like, there's some analytics and some numbers that we like that that are positive, similar to what they were in the past. But I just have felt, and it was a message this morning, that we could get more involved. Like, there's instances where I think we can be part of it, and if it isn't developing the way we want the rush to develop, then we can peel out of it. And like, I talk all the time about making a decision at every line, our blue line, the red line, the offensive line, and I feel like we've been giving up on some rush attacks where some things are developing too early. So we want them involved. They've always been part of the offensive scheme, like running a 5-man offense in ozone play. But coming out of our zone, we need them to be active and we need them to be part of it. And in the rush, the same way. And tonight they did a nice job, especially in the second and third.
Couple more.
Sam Walensky got his first goal this season tonight. What did you think of his play?
I thought he was great. Yeah. I mean, that was a heck of a play, too. He pushes it up the ice and follows it up. And in Winnipeg, he was really good, too. Like, he was a guy that helped turn the momentum around, I thought, for us in Winnipeg, like staying up on his coverage in the neutral zone and knocking pucks down and transitioning us. It was the strength of his game there, and I thought he did a nice job of it again tonight, and that goal is a prime example.
You saw their lines kind of change around a little bit. Is there anything you do to adjust your game to kind of accommodate to that shifting on the other end of the
Just
ice?
depends on how we're playing. Like, I'm not a hard match coach because, I like when our team finds a rhythm, and so instead of worrying about how, like, if we're having troubles with a matchup that someone's getting chewed up and we got to make changes, we'll do it. But like tonight, I felt like our whole team needed to go better in the second period, and we did. So just because they're mixing some things up, certainly we tried to have like Nate's line out against either Aho when he was separate from Nekash or vice versa, but I wasn't stuck to it because when, if they ice it or we have a good ozone shift and I want to get our guys back out, our top guys, and then I'll put them out because we need the offense. And then someone else has to do the job. So we've got, some loose matchups that we follow, but I try not to worry too much about what they're doing and concentrate more on our team.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks.
When Nathan MacKinnon gives you 4 points, I don't know that you have to worry about much of anything. By the way, Nathan MacKinnon 4-point night plus 2,200 on Bet365 tonight. If you wanted to get in on that, could have made a lot of money.
And it was like something like a goal and assist plus like whatever it was, like 9. And it's like, man, it's every game. It's like you get mad at yourself afterwards. I'm like,
whatever bet you're feeling comfy on, do it with Bet365 and use the DNVR 365 code when you sign up. You get $150 in bonus bets when you bet $5 on anything and put $10 in your account. Plus, you'll also get 2 months of Altitude Plus. So why not jump in? Make it easier to watch your Avalanche play while you got some money on them. You might as well do it. It's free money that you get to bet with at $150 of bonus bets. Use the DNVR 365 code and make sure you're in with Bet365. Of course, when you do gamble with Bet365, you must be 21 or older, physically located in Colorado. And if you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER today. And then, when you inevitably win some money on Bet365, go get yourself a delicious, sexy pizza.
yes,
You know who went to Sexy Pizza today, E?
MacKinnon.
Correct. Arturi, you know what? He had one shot at the Sexy Pizza. It was too sexy. He missed the net.
Sexy Lecky Pizza.
Then he got back to his good stick Lecky ways and put the tip in from Sexy Pizza. So make sure you're getting a Sexy Pizza. Make sure you're getting delicious pizza. And it's more than just that. Sexy Pizza is a part of this community, and they want to help this community grow. They offer a ton of support for nonprofits, schools, high school teams and clubs, and more than that. They have a donation link on their website, and they regularly do fundraisers at their locations. They've supported a ton of local teams, whether it be football, wrestling, tennis, cheerleaders, even more than that. So go get with Sexy Pizza today. Take a look at their everyday specials because they sell slices all day, every day. The base special comes with a fountain drink, but if you go to a location that has alcohol, you can turn that into a beer. Sexy Pizza, serving sustainability, community, and hand-tossed pizza in Colorado. Now, I know Gismo doesn't have one of these, but I want to bring him in to make him jealous of our winner's shots.
Yeah.
So, cheers. Thank you, chat, for the 100 likes. We appreciate y'all so much. Gismo, next time, maybe.
Well, just save one for me, and I'll be right there.
There you go. We'll have one poured and ready to go for you.
I love it. Thanks, guys.
Giz, started slow, turned into a fun one for me. What's your through line here tonight?
Yeah, I mean, listen, that's as complete of an effort as you can expect out of these guys. I thought, from top to bottom, they were fantastic. You had your horses running. You had everybody that needed to step up in this game stepped up. I thought Georgiev held them in at the beginning. I thought he played more than solid enough throughout this game. You could see him getting a little bit of that swagger back. You could see him making some stops. The pucks were hitting him a little bit better. He was gaining confidence. And then, of course, I mean, MacKinnon is just unworldly right now. They got back on the point trend. So did Cale Makar. I thought Sam Malinsky played a very good game defensively. I mean, all in, there's some little things that they could clean up. For sure, and perfection is never fully achieved, but that's a real good effort for a hockey team that's finding their swagger. And frankly, they played amazing against Winnipeg. So you go from that Seattle game to the Winnipeg game to this game tonight with the lineup that they have. I mean, give Jared Bednar all the trophies for finding a way to sort of kind of put these guys and get them into the mindset they have and keeping that room as positive as he has because it's a lighter feeling in there. You can feel it when you go into the building.
Can you speak to that swagger and that lighter feeling? Because I'll be honest, at the end of the first period, I did not feel great, but 15 minutes into the second, you can see it on the guys, right? Once a couple of goals start going in, how much of a difference does it make just for them to feel like they're doing the right things and getting rewarded for it?
Yeah, I mean, I think you saw it, right? The effervescence in the room. That first period, despite the fact that they're down and maybe had a little bit of a rough here and there, they stepped into it in that second, and it was like, wow, okay, you could just see it. The way that they came out is, quite frankly, the way I wanted to come out in the first period. That's fine. They weathered the storm for the first 20. I thought there were definitely moments of up, but it really was present when they stepped onto the ice for the second period. They just had a hop to their step. I don't know how to quite describe it. Eric, you know what I'm talking about, but there was, and I don't know what was said in the room between the first 20 and the second, but there was an effervescence there for them. They played lighter. They played a little bit looser. And I think a lot of that personally has to do with just a little bit more comfortability in the way that Georgiev started the game. Frankly, there was only one goalie in the game of hockey that played better than Georgiev tonight, and that was Max Lacroix out in Boston.
Oh, God, here we go.
He was our player of the game, just so you know.
Here we go.
I saw.
Here we go.
I saw. He had a heck of a coach
nice.
his 15th year.
But thank you. But second period, electric for fans. We talked about it. Remember, key number 3 tonight. Like, I have some swag. I have the fans into it. Cooped up last 48 hours in the snow. Was it just fun? It wasn't fun for the coaches, I can tell you that, for both coaches. But there's a lot of goals in the second period. Ruda was about to take his shirt off. It was going nuts in here. So how electric was the building? Was it something that, it's been good that we haven't seen that much lately?
Yeah, it's the most electric that Ball Arena has been since I've been covering the team. No question about it. And I watched this one from down low today, and it was fun. It was fun to be a part of. It was fun to be, the media guy, but that was also enjoying it from an impartial standpoint. Because, listen, you fall in love, right? You fall in love. You know how it is. Whether whether you're covering these guys as an objective journalist or not. And luckily what we do is we get to be fans, right? And that's a new way of covering hockey for me. I'll be very honest with you. You all know what I've done the last 9 years in the NHL, but this is fun. And tonight was one of the most fun times that I've had at a hockey game, watching a team kind of sort of realize their potential, right? It's like it was almost clicking, and then it was kind of clicking, and then tonight it was like the aha moment where, the clouds parted and the sun shined down, and, I made birdies instead of double bogeys for the first time like all summer.
Or romantic like Adam Sandler and Drew Barrymore in 50 First Dates. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like that's what it was.
Exactly. That's exactly
right,
what
Rudo?
it was.
I mean, I wish I could wake up and forget that first period and then remember the rest of the game. Yeah, that would be ideal.
But you see, you know what, though, Rudo? I disagree with you because you don't want to forget that first period. You know why?
It's the downs that makes the ups that much better.
Abso-friggin-lutely. Peaks and valleys, baby. The peaks aren't so cool unless you have some valleys, and that's certainly what made periods 2 and 3 so much better, the valley of the first.
I somehow seem to find a rules question for you on every one of these call-ins, Giz. The goalie interference challenge there. I call it a coin flip most nights. I genuinely have no idea what qualifies and what doesn't.
You know what? As I've mentioned a few times, and I can't wait for him to come on the pod next week. My nephew is learning the game of hockey very quickly, and he's become very intelligent at it, right? I mean, and I love having the conversations with him. But he looked at me and he was like, "Is that goalie interference?" And I was like, "I have no idea. I still have no idea." I think my guess rate on goaltender interference for all the years I've been covering the NHL and watching hockey is at 50-50 at the very best. That, in my opinion, was not goalie interference. So I was right on that one, but I mean, that could have gone either way, and I definitely held my breath for a second.
No, that was and again, it was a few minutes that had not gone well for the Hurricanes. We talked about it right away. We would have challenged it too if we were Brindamore, because it was the right thing to do. Because no matter what do you got to lose? Go kill the penalty. Right. Or again, with the, like Rudo says, it's a 50-50 shot all the time with the goalie interference rule. But right away, my first instinct, I told Rudo, I'm like, oh God, that's gonna get taken back. Then I looked at it once and I said, no, I'm going with it. It's a goal, and I was right, which I'm usually wrong, but I was right because I think ultimately, and I think we'll dig on Twitter tonight to see what it was, but I think ultimately is by the time MacKinnon's skate hits his skate, I think the puck was already like crossing the line. So I think that's kind of what favored it. You know what I mean? And that's why I am the man and called it a goal. But no, usually I'm wrong, so I don't know.
Yeah, that was my justification too. The puck was already in the blue paint before any kind of contact or anything happened. I mean, I was pretty confident on it on second look, but I was with you. First one, I was like, oh, I don't know. I really don't know. And then on the second replay, I was like, nah, we're good.
Whether it was goalie interference or not, I think you can finally start to see. You get one period in this hockey game where the Avs get a few breaks that go their way, and they score 5 goals. It doesn't take a lot for this Avs team to remind you just how good they're capable of being.
They are very capable. They are very good. And the one thing I will give to you to continue to be positive for is that they are still not anywhere near the capacity of health that they are going to be at in a few weeks. I mean, Drouin is.
Well, someone told us tonight that it wouldn't matter, that's not adding a lot during the watch long. Sorry, keep going.
Well,
I'm like, okay,
put
whatever.
that person on the injured reserve list. There might be a concussion involved there. Get that guy's head checked, or girl, or whatever. I don't even know these days, but yeah, get that checked because that's just not accurate. I mean, you inject a few of these other names that are close to coming back into this lineup, and it's lights out. It's not even close. I mean, they're doing this. They've stepped this up with getting one guy back. Okay, now you put Nichushkin back in the lineup. Now you put Drouin back in the lineup. Look out, look out, and the rest of the NHL knows it as well.
Yeah, I think everybody is aware of how good this team is capable of being. Are they there right now? Well, their stars certainly are. Everyone else will get there.
I made the Stanley Cup bet today.
There you go. Love it. Love to see it.
Yep.
Any final thoughts here, Giz, before we let you go?
No, that's a good one. Enjoy the home cooking. It's a good homestand for these guys. They've got a couple more tough tests coming in, though, right? So you're not going to be able to sleep on it. You're going to really have to kind of buckle down and focus. Nashville's starting to find their own. You've got Washington. You've got Los Angeles. Los Angeles is a good team. So just be ready to go. Savor it for a minute, but then stow it and be ready to go back to work on Monday.
There you go. Be ready to go for the Colorado Avalanche and be ready to go away from banks. Make sure you're getting in with Westera Credit Union. Giz, thank you again, man. We will probably see you here at the bar, or if not, we'll see you Monday.
Sounds good, guys.
As I was saying, Westera Credit Union is not a bank. They're here to be part of the community and join us in helping you make more money. It's not that complicated. Westera Credit Union has been around for a very, very long time here in Colorado, and they have a ton of great different options for you, including their reverse tier money market account. When you jump in with the reverse tier money market account, you can earn up to 6% annual percentage yield on your first $2,000 each month. That's up to 120 extra bucks a year. Then your next chunk of cash will make you 3% APY, and so on down the line. So it's just extra money you could be making thanks to Westera Credit Union. In addition to the interest you can earn, this account also comes with rewards, debit cards, and has no monthly or maintenance fees, and so much more. So get with them today. If you like earning money by doing the things you're already doing with your checking account, visit westeracu.com/smartmoney for details. Membership eligibility required, insured by NCUA. Restrictions and conditions apply. And once you've got your money all taken care of, maybe you want to hear a little bit more about what's going on around the league with an all-city podcast that is What Chaos. What Chaos is the all-city hockey podcast by Pete Blackburn and DJ Bean. It's mostly hockey, but they like to have a little bit of fun around the edges too. So jump in, go check them out. They're live 4 times a week at noon Eastern on YouTube and wherever you listen to your podcasts. And also make sure to check out their new merch. They just did a new partnership drop with Just Dishin'. They've got shirts, hoodies, hats, accessories, and more at justdishin.com. So go check them out. Go check out the What Chaos podcast here at All City. I can speak words. They're like the national brand for us a little bit. All right. Last period of the DNVR Avalanche podcast. I'm going to nitpick really quick because I'm a pessimistic guy, and that's what I do.
Now I want to talk about something too.
I kind of skimmed over it because Nathan MacKinnon's all world and just made it not matter, but you cannot continue to give up that next goal. The Avs get into that second period. They work their butts off to get this game back to tied, and very, very quickly you give a goal like that back. It's a tough thing to overcome, and the Avs were good enough to overcome it tonight. Awesome. Those are the types of things that as the season goes on, you have to eliminate from your game because they will burn you in the long run. Nathan MacKinnon, one of the best players in the world, got you through that. He can't do it every night. He can do it a lot of nights. He can't do it every single night. So you got to tighten up the screws a little bit on things like that. What did you want to touch on?
But by the way, that's my buddy on the commercial there, on Geico commercial, shooting pucks at the car. Stéphane Desjardins. Yeah, good old French guy. But I wanted to talk a little bit more. But you're right about basically it falls down to like the category that I talk about, the no-nos all the time, the shift after a goal, right? Or a couple shifts after a goal. That's, again, good teams will punch you right back. Carolina, there's a reason you win 8 in a row. There's a reason you punch back. There's a reason you get yourself, never have the game get out of hand. But I was just reading, like, Brendan Moore is pretty heated about, he called the challenge to play the game. We call Makar to play the game. Brendan Moore called the challenge to play the game. He's pretty heated about it. In his mind, he says we have it frame on frame, and by the time that before the puck crosses the line, his skate touches the skate, which I agree with. But I don't think it impeded in a sense. It was already passed in my book. But I think he's saying that the rule is clear and it's black and white, so it should be. And again, we can be here all day talking about 50-50 challenges on goaltending and for it. But he called it. I mean, again. We would have done the same thing.
I don't know that I would have.
No, I mean challenge it.
Absolutely.
That's my point. No, I'm not saying.
Absolutely. No,
I'm not talking
argument.
about whatever the outcome was. I'm saying he got to challenge it right there. He's swimming. He's underwater, and it's like, okay, worst comes to worst. Like I said, you go kill the penalty, and which they ended up killing, right? Yeah, they ended up killing it. Yeah. But he's pretty heated about it. So it's funny how interpretation of rules, or I guess we're all seeing it all differently. You can have 30 people see it differently and tell you why it's a goal for that reason and why it's not a goal for that reason.
So, I mean, they technically killed it.
Is that the one, like...
It was a 5-on-3, but it expired.
And that's the Mikko goal,
yeah.
right? So that was, oh, yeah. All right, well, it was 4-3, though, at that time.
Yeah,
Again, the Avs had scored a few, and now they were like, yeah, you're right. Maybe maybe it didn't play. Maybe it didn't pan out the way they thought it was going to be.
Technically, they killed that penalty. They just took another penalty, and that was
Right
really
after,
the problem.
and then he came back late.
Yeah.
Nate just was trying to
chase
Mikko, and Mikko just zipped it. All right, that's what I want to talk about.
But I don't know. I think that's soft.
Oh, you mean abroad?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Blaming a reffing situation, calling that the play of the game, go make a better play.
Yeah, you're right.
And don't, look, go watch the other night's podcast. I was mad as hell at the refs. But I still said it's not their fault that the Avs couldn't score a goal.
That's right.
Just saying. Just throwing that out there.
I agree.
But, I mean, the real answer there is, Lucky, shoot it into an open net, and we're not even talking about this, buddy. 10 seconds before that goal goes in, it should have been a goal anyway. So...
Good old Lecky.
Made it work in the end. Puck went in eventually, legally.
Found his good stick Lecky.
P.S. Everyone go tweet at D-Line, good stick Lecky.
And then you were talking about Big Sexy Pizza, too. Like, Ryan O'Byrne, former Avalanche defenseman, his name was Big Sexy.
Was it really?
So that would have been sick if Big Sexy would have got a goal from the slot. Like, Big Sexy Pizza.
Well, I don't think he went to the slot much in the offensive zone.
As a defenseman, he probably didn't. But it would have been sick, though.
Malinsky did, though, and look, it worked out. So
would have been sick.
Who knows?
And my bet 365 hit, by the way.
Yeah,
which was
you did.
3 goals each side, and then Nate just to get an assist, and Mikko to get an assist.
Easy money, buddy.
Boom.
Easy money tonight. Way to go for E.
Thank you.
I mean, look. Once again, the Avs lineup is what it is. Yeah. If the Avs had some couple of great chances that maybe you want a goal out of Kiviranta tonight, he didn't finish one. You probably wanted a goal out of Nikolai Kovalenko tonight. He botched a pretty great chance.
Andre's not scoring right now. I know his name. Andre.
It's the reality that the Avs are going to continue to live through until they get guys coming back. It just is what it is. Anything you get from those guys is kind of a bonus right now. With that being said, the Avs' current lineup can't keep winning game 6-4. You got to find a way to start getting those numbers down. You got to, give up 3. Get it to 3. Get it to 2. I think asking for less than 2 is a bit unrealistic, but get it to 3. Let's start there. Make your lives a little bit easier by giving up less.
And again, you're bang on, and this is a 4-game homestand, so you've won 1, right? So it's a good start.
Yep.
You want to get yourself back above water on the home front, right? It hasn't been pretty for all the reasons. We're not going to go back to it. But you're right. If you're going to get a really successful homestand, looking at the opponents like Nashville and things like that, I'm not saying it's a bad team. I'm saying you got good teams after that, LA and Washington, but you're going to need a little bit of help, like we just talked about, right? You're going to need a little... Nate can't get 4 to 5 points a night. Right. If he does, it's awesome. You know what I mean? We're not...
He can do it.
If he's listening
every
right now,
so often.
We're not asking him to stop doing that. We're not. But you're going to need a little bit more. And I know the way the lineup is, but you still got to squeak one in, especially against, and when I say that, lesser opponents, I'm talking about today in the standings, Nashville, and, they're not as high as Winnipeg or Carolina that you just played. So it's a little bit of different lineup where you being a third or fourth liner and you playing on the second line, it shouldn't be as flagrant, against that type of team. So I think you got to help out a little bit. The bottom of the lineup guys have to help out a little bit more, especially starting Monday. Today's Saturday. Yeah, Monday.
Last thing I wanted to touch on, I'll give you the numbers and then we'll talk about the difference. At 5-on-5, Corsi, 42-42, dead even between these two teams. You had the Hurricanes own the first, the Avs own the second. Pretty even. I mean, the Hurricanes were marginally better, but score effects, yada, yada, yada. I don't have to get into that.
Yeah.
High danger chances, 9-10. Hurricanes with 10. Pretty darn close to even. Avs did a little bit better of a job being more dangerous. Avs expected goals 2.3 to Hurricanes 1.8. But ultimately, both teams scored 3 goals at 5-on-5 in this game. Special teams win you this game. Both teams score a power play goal, 1-1. Cale Makar's shorthanded goal. That's the difference.
Oh, that's the play of the game. That's the play of the game. And you said it best. Not the player of the game, even though he was awesome. It's the play of the game. Rod the Bod thinks it's the challenge. That's fine. You know, he's on the losing side. I get that. Maybe we'd say the same thing on our side if we were the coach. But, yeah, I mean, pretty evenly played game, like you said. And comes and goes. As long as the lows are not so low, right? You know what I mean?
Yep.
As long as you stay afloat and you get that goal back. You're down by 2, and that's why we say that clapper from Cale gets you back within 1. And it's a statement play, right? Because you're shorthanded. It's a lost art, the clapper. You don't see that anymore. You know what I mean? Coming down the wing. You look like Guy Lafleur there. I mean, number 10 Montreal Canadiens. If Cale had no hat, he'd be like the hair would have been flowing, and the blonde devil was his nickname, the Démon Blanc. Just coming down the right side, you can tell. You know what? Remember I said a clapper?
Yep.
I think he knew he was picking up that puck, and he's like, "Oh my God, I am gonna clapper the crap out of that puck right now," and he did. It was awesome. You could tell
sick.
that's what he was doing, because he couldn't cut in, right? You know what I mean? Unless Gostis Bear, like, it wasn't him, but you would have opened the gate for him. It just didn't happen that way there. But it was awesome. It was a great play. It was fun to watch, and again, that's something you saw so much more in my era, than you see today.
Yeah, well, goalies usually save them these days, but
but
not that one.
Poof, that was a bomb, though. It was a bomb.
Let's get to our super chats here, and then we'll wrap this thing up. $5 from Wilson, who says Forgiev wins greater than Forgiev losses. Amen to that, brother. Enough said. $5 from Tyler, who says, I don't know the advanced stats, but with our current lineup, Covey and Ivan are looking just fine. I'm not worried. We're going to be just fine in a week. Yeah, I mean, look, they were your 2 best possession forwards tonight. Their time on ice is a little bit reduced. The big guys played 26, 27 minutes tonight, so they didn't play a ton. My issues with the Avs down the roster lineup is not their ability to play quality hockey. They're just not quite there with the finishing ability or to make the perfect play, the things that your elite players just can do. Not that they're playing bad hockey. They're doing good things, but they're 98% of the way there is the way I like to put it, where the finish just might not quite be there, or instead of receiving the pass cleanly, they bobble it for the second and the goalie gets over. It's such minor details make such a big difference in NHL games.
Yeah, and like I said, I'm not saying they're playing bad, like Andre and Ivan. I'm just saying at some point, like, you got to put one in. You got to help out a little bit.
Yep.
It's one thing to have good possession numbers, but at some point you got to put one in.
Agreed.
So, and I know it's hard when you're slotted, again, those last 2. But again, there's a couple games coming up. There's no reason why you can't put one in, you know what I mean, and help out that way. And it's very appreciated by the top end guys, by the way. Sometimes they're like, all right, you know what I mean? Even though they like it, and don't get me wrong, they have that swag, and they're like, we can do it anyway. But it's nice to be helped a little bit.
Get an easy game every once in a while.
It's not always on your shoulders.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. $14 from the incredible Drew, who says, Avs win, Mac and Cale continue to dominate. My plus 3,400 bet wins, and the countdown to a nearly full lineup is down to 6 days. All is right in the world again. Take care, guys. See you Monday.
Plus 3,400, what was it?
Yeah, that's got to be some crazy parlay shenanigans going on in there.
We got to talk.
That's a lot of money.
I like those.
And then $2 from Tyler, who says, can we talk about all hail Cale reverse hit? Yeah, it was a huge hit. The Avs go score like 20 seconds later, too.
Buddy, this guy can kill guys.
Yeah.
He's one of them. But he's probably, Josh is a great hitter. I mean,
Josh is just a bigger human being.
No, but between the blades, like a little
I agree.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, Cale's a good hitter. He's one of their best hitters.
Yep. He doesn't.
It's all about timing. It's an art, and he's solid.
Yeah. Doesn't bust it out all that often, but when he wants to, he'll drop a dude for sure.
Absolutely.
And he can do it all. He's Just that good. We do have to wrap up our time here for the night, but it's a fun win. I think it's a good win. I think it's an important win for the Avalanche in this grand scheme. They are still below 500, but this second, they are 1 point out of a playoff spot. I know it's too early to be thinking about that, but all I'm saying is don't hit the panic button just yet.
Stay afloat. 20 games. We talked about it.
Exactly
Stay afloat,
right.
20 games.
You're almost there. You're almost starting to get a bunch of guys back. So,
and yes, it will make a difference.
We are done here. We appreciate all y'all hanging out with us. We will be back Monday, off tomorrow, but we hope to see you on the next one, and make sure you go check out all of our post-game content. AJ's Studs and Duds are probably already up on the website, so go see them. We appreciate y'all, and we will talk to you in the next one. This has been the DNVR Avalanche post-game show, brought to you by Bet365.
We all silly like the mayor.